Should MLS make the bold switch to a fall to spring schedule just like Europe? Imagine your favorite local club kicking off the season right alongside your Premier League giants, Champions League drama, Minnesota winter storms, NFL Sundays, and sparse icy stands. Yet, the decision to switch the season is not that simple. Changing the calendar season would shake up the entire league and the fan experience to its core. I wanted to take a look at the highs and lows, the good, the bad, and the reality a change like this could bring. This isn't just a what if, it could reshape North American soccer forever. First, let's look at the positives that this change would bring and how it would improve the league compared to its current state. The first and most obvious reason why the league is considering the change is simply to align with international transfers and competitions. In Europe, the major transfer windows open in the summer and in January. With the current MLS season being out of sync with this rhythm, it creates a lot of challenges when acquiring high-level talent from Europe. Players often end up arriving mid-season, right after completing an entire season of soccer, and thus needing weeks, if not months, to adjust. For example, St. Louis City in the 2024 season only won 4 games in 24 games to start the season, with a 4-win, 10-tie, 10-loss start to their 2024 campaign. Then they received multiple big German transfer players from Bundesliga 2, and ended the season with a 4-win, 3-tie, 3-loss record. The club in their first 24 games won as many games as they did in their final 10, which shows just how different the team was after their summer transfer window signings. This is just one example of teams making signings in the middle of the season and creating an awkward lack of cohesion throughout the season, all thanks to the MLS season not aligning with other big leagues across the globe. Just imagine MLS clubs being able to integrate their new signings seamlessly before the start of a new season. This could significantly improve team seasonal continuity and the player performances in our league. The jagged alignment of MLS and other leagues doesn't only mess with the transfer window for the league, it also messes with our performance in international tournaments. MLS clubs frequently compete in CONCACAF Champions League and other regional cups, often going up against Mexican and Central American teams. The problem is that MLS teams are often in preseason form when these competitions start, while their opponents are in the middle of their season, already having been playing for a couple of months and learning how to gel and play together as a team. This imbalance puts MLS clubs at a huge disadvantage, affecting their performance and the league's reputation on the global stage. Switching to a fall to spring calendar could level that playing field. Just imagine MLS teams consistently being competitive and making deep runs. It would elevate the league's standing across the continent and across the globe. A fall to spring schedule could also enhance the soccer culture in North America by aligning more closely with traditional soccer powerhouses like England, Spain, Germany, and others. Fans want their clubs to compete at the same level, which, while that is realistically never actually going to happen, this alignment could create better opportunities for MLS talent in the international market. Plus, with no off-season discrepancies, MLS players might have better chances to make it into European club competitions or even national teams. But there's a cultural aspect too. Fewer MLS games competing with major summer events could free up space for soccer to thrive, while still sharing common ground with global football traditions. This kind of international recognition could be a game changer for the league. Those are just a couple of the reasons why the league is considering changing to the fall to spring season after the 2026 World Cup. However, I wanted to now bring up some of the negative side effects this change could and will have on the league as a whole. The first and most important side effect this would have on the league is the winter weather challenges we would face. Europe, for the most part, is roughly at the same, if not higher latitude as the United States, and many of the markets found in MLS. However, due to ocean currents and some confusing weather stuff, Europe, by and large, has much more moderate weather than parts of the United States. For example, if you look at Minnesota, Chicago, Real Salt Lake, or Colorado, just as a couple examples, we have large amounts of snow throughout the year, which would cut well into the possible new MLS season. If we just look at Minnesota, for example, from 1981 to 2010, we see an average snowfall of at least roughly 10 inches from November to March, which is directly in the heart of what the new season would be. Playing games in freezing temperatures, snowstorms, and icy conditions obviously leads to difficulties when trying to play soccer, but attending matches as well. The average attendance for MLS snow games versus normal games is a shocking difference and would have a massive impact on the league, with possibly much smaller crowds attending games throughout the season. This brings up the possible question of, if we made this change, would we have to make some serious investments into infrastructure of MLS stadiums and possibly require a dome to cover the stadiums? Based on the climate where MLS stadiums are, I believe there would be roughly 3 teams that would possibly need or at least benefit from building domes to cover their field if they wanted to consistently have conditions to play soccer in and have large crowds of fans be willing to come and attend games. This would be a massive investment that the league would have to make just to continue playing with the new schedule. The alternative to this is playing in extreme winter conditions or possibly even having to move soccer games to different open stadiums elsewhere in the country or constantly rescheduling games. All of these options would unfortunately have a massive negative impact on the league and are serious drawbacks to the possible new schedule. Another serious problem this change would bring would be the competition with other major American sports like the NFL, NBA, and NHL, all of which are top 4 major sports leagues in America. MLS currently thrives from having most of its season during a much quieter period for American sports. A fall to spring switch would put MLS games up against NFL Sunday, NBA matchups, NHL games, college football, and college basketball, including the insanity that is March Madness. MLS is a new league still somewhat in its infancy, if not toddler phase, which would have huge struggles to fight for viewership and media attention in the possible new season. Would diehard fans tune in, or would we see a drop in viewership with sports fans picking up other options over MLS? And would new fans give MLS a chance when it's going toe-to-toe with their existing favorite league? Personally, I think not. MLS has worked hard to position itself as a summer attraction, often billed as family-friendly entertainment during the warmer months. Fans pack stadiums to enjoy games under the sun, and it's become part of the league's charm. A switch to colder months might discourage casual attendees, especially in regions with outdoor venues. Would moving away from that established identity hurt the league's long-term growth, or could new fan experiences like packed winter games create a whole new vibe for the league? The great debate on whether MLS should follow Europe's lead and switch to a fall to spring calendar is a confusing topic. It's not just about aligning with the world's biggest leagues, it's about weathering the storms, literally, and navigating competition with other sports. This decision would have massive implications for clubs, players, fans, and the league as a whole. The question is, are we ready, or are we even able to make that leap?